Hi, welcome to the podcast formerly known as Early Access. I'm here with Jake,
Hey guys.
Brian,
What's going on?
and Jeremy.
It's your boy.
We got a very special podcast for you today. How's everyone doing?
They're always special podcasts, man.
Yeah, why is today's
They're
extra
special to me.
special?
It's not. It's a joke. God damn it.
Oh, savage.
Yeah.
I
How's
don't
everyone
know.
doing?
Funny.
How you do? Okay. So everyone's dismal and upset and sad. That
Dude,
sounds
it was just one of those weeks.
No, I'm
Yeah,
doing great.
Dude, it was.
It's because it's
It was.
fucking cold up here.
It is
Oh,
cold
dude.
as shit.
Yeah, it is. What, you guys said it was like 19 degrees or something today?
There was
The
frost
low
on the
for-
ground.
The low overnight is 19 tonight, and last night I think it was like 25. So.
That's fucked up. I believe it's 54 degrees as of my speaking time, right here. where
Well,
I'm
you
sitting.
can go take your 54 degrees and you can shove them right up your ass. How about that?
Right up.
All the
It'll
way.
be comfortable.
All the
It'll
way.
still be so warm and
I
stuff.
bet I could fit 54 degrees if we're gonna be honest.
All right, maybe we'll feature that next week.
I'll get the frog in on it, you know. From Mario Odyssey.
there.
Tune
We're
into
already.
Chris's personal YouTube channel to see him fit 54 degrees
Oh, dude,
right
it's-
out his
that
anus.
shit's not on YouTube. That shit's a different tube. There is tube
Sorry,
involved.
Patreon
this is-
only.
All right. So Jeremy, Brian, and I have this problem, and it's called Plunkbat, where we don't play any games except that for a week. So we're actually not going to talk about anything. However, Jake bought some new hardware. What did you buy, Jake?
My dudes, I bought a Switch.
Hey,
Nerd.
It's too
You
bad.
guys
I'm
can-
sorry.
you guys can
did I
applaud.
have? How long did I have the gun pointed at your head?
It feels like a lifetime.
Well, you know,
Like-
they say when you're under duress that seconds feel like hours.
That's
true.
yeah. How okay. So this is the first Nintendo console you've bought since the Wii.
That's right.
So you're officially not a cuck who bought the Wii U. However, you have bought some Nintendo shit before. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. What do you think about it? Give me your first impressions.
So I'll start with first where I was as a regular old person before I owned a Nintendo Switch.
Oh, I love this. Before he was just
Before
a man.
I was enlightened.
All right, go for it.
I thought the Nintendo Switch was the stupidest waste of money. Because who needs a tablet that plays video games? And I thought that the docking thing was complete shit. And when originally the Switch came out, there was all that news about how there were dead pixels and the controllers felt really uncomfortable and the battery didn't last long and you could scratch your Switch putting it into the dock. So I was pretty skeptical. Now that I have one, though, I have to say I have a completely different opinion. The weight just holding it in like non-docked mode is pretty ideal. Like it's not too heavy. It's not like super light. I mean, it feels like a regular old tablet. But it's just like it's a lot easier to hold than I thought, especially with all the news that I heard about how the controllers were uncomfortable. And I mean, just looking at the controllers, you have two joysticks in two different places with tiny little buttons, and it looks weird, but somehow it kind of works. So I was very happy with that. I got the console that comes with Mario, and it has been a ton of fun so far. I haven't made it that far. I've made it to the Sand Kingdom, which I think is the second kingdom after the tutorial one.
Yeah.
And it's been fun so far.
But you don't own Zelda. So
I don't own Zelda. That's
I don't
coming
think
after
you actually
Mario.
own a Switch yet. I don't think you actually own them.
Right. I mean, so the thing with Zelda is I was pretty skeptical looking at Zelda because not having played it before, all I've seen is kind of the combat, the temples, that kind of stuff. And the combat looks boring as hell. Like you get a weapon that breaks after like a certain amount of hits, and it looks like not a lot. And there's no blocking. The only thing you can do is dodge backwards, from what I've seen.
Ooh. Okay.
But
Just keep-
but here's
yeah,
the
keep
big
talking.
but is that after playing Mario, which I know you've been talking about for the past couple of podcasts, I could tell that there's like, I will be pretty happy with Zelda, because one of the trends that I've noticed with these new Switch games that Nintendo's been coming out with is they spend a lot of time on like the little details in the games, which end up making a big difference. Like, I know you guys, we just played Plunk Bat last night, and after, of course, I died within the first few minutes, you guys went on to carry the team. I went straight to Mario and just rolled down hills for probably 10 minutes. Not even like doing anything, just like legit walking to the top of a hill, rolling down, and dodging all the enemies on the way down. And it was surprisingly fun, but totally like, why is this in Mario? So I'm looking forward to getting Zelda once I finish Mario.
Yeah. Have you docked your Switch yet?
Not yet.
You got to dock it tonight, dude. You got to dock it tonight.
Yeah,
I think
I'd
you'll
like
be
to at least see what it looks like docked, but I have to say, part of the reason I got the Switch was for the portability, for travel and that kind of stuff. And I've been very happy with the way things play in travel mode, so
All right.
I don't have any
good.
major desire to dock it yet, but I'd like to see what it looks like.
Good. Yeah, and I mean, I had like a little rant a few weeks ago about how I like am thankful for the surprising utility of the Switch, and we have some more Switch statistics a little later tonight about that kind of thing. So we'll get back to that. Do you have any closing thoughts, or are you pretty good on that?
I think I've got everything. But
Jeremy
I guess,
and Brian, do you want to shit all over Jake because apparently you guys are fucking party poopers?
Not yet.
Okay,
Well,
we'll wait.
my one question is, did you put the game card in your mouth?
Did you? Yes,
Have you
that's
put
true.
any of the game
How did
card
it taste, Jake?
How did
So,
it taste?
I was pretty lucky to not have a game card when I bought it, so there was no
that's
temptation.
Oh, so you haven't
It's digital,
put one
it's
in your
digital.
mouth.
there was no temptation to put it in my mouth.
Oh man.
Because I put one of Chris's in my mouth and it didn't taste that bad. I would have no problem swallowing that, sucking that right down.
So if Brian was a child, would child Brian choke to death?
Oh yeah, it just tastes like a little bit of petroleum or something on it. That's
See,
all.
I
It ain't
think-
gonna kill you.
I picture my younger self going hard on the Joy-Con personally. You know,
You want
putting
to
it
put
like
that
a
in your
hot-
mouth?
Putting it in like a hot dog and choking on it.
Those are not what hot
Now
dogs
that's
look like,
that.
dude.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
That's
I could-
just
They
me.
do the smooth finish does have a kind of tactile appeal that
You know,
there's some
it
part
really
of it
does.
You want to
sticking
take
in my
a
mouth.
take a little nibble out of that?
Yeah, it looks like it would have a good mouthfeel.
Well, you know, sometimes you're admiring hardware design and it just
You
gets
just- well, you want to
yeah,
use
You
all
want the
the
full experience.
You want
Some
all
things
these
just have
dogs.
that look.
you have, you know, a certain number of senses. It behooves you to use all of them when experiencing new hardware. So that's I'm gonna leave it at that. All right. So Jake likes the Switch. That's awesome. I love it. I'm so happy that he got one because I was only bugging him about it like every fucking day.
Because
It's
now
been
you can
months, in
so
case
you
guys
can
are
put
wondering. It's been
you
months.
can put Jake's stuff in your mouth.
Well-
and you can put your stuff in his mouth.
So I was telling Jake we can switch Joy-Con because he has Mario Red Joy-Con. So like I can have his left Joy-Con
Spicy.
and he can have my left Joy-Con and we can have black and red Joy-Con and touch tips while we're at it.
It's gonna be great. I can't wait.
It's going to be great. All right. We have a lot of news. I think we should start with the Sexbox One Sex. Because
Let's do
that
it.
came out this week. What's up, Brian?
I didn't hear about that one. I heard about the Xbox, but
Oh.
I didn't hear about. Was
Oh.
that like is that a console for dads?
Oh, it's a console
was-
for dads.
It's a console for
Oh.
dads that want sex.
You get it on the same site where you get my you know.
But you have to click the "Yes, I am over 18" button.
Yeah.
Okay, I see. Yeah, I see.
Yeah.
And there's a yes,
All right.
I am a dad button that you also have to click that afterwards.
So, as of this recording, the Xbox One X is officially out. You can
Well,
go buy it.
it'll be out for
It will have been out. It will.
Yeah,
Well,
like
yeah.
since yeah.
So
It'll continue to be. Yeah, never mind. Never mind. We're good. We're good.
you can go to a store and buy one. I have a couple questions concerning it. I'm going to give a spec rundown. Then I'm going to talk about kind of is it worth it talk about its comparison to the PC, and talk about this like half console cycle refresh as like the PS4 Pro and the Xbox One X, and talk about if it's going to continue as a trend into the PS5 and Xbox 2 era. So, real quick rundown. The Xbox One X has about a 30% boost in the CPU, which it's nice. It's 2.3 gigahertz over 1.57 gigahertz. It has an integrated AMD graphics card with six teraflops of performance, and this is kind of the key over the original's 1.31 teraflops of performance. So you're getting more than you're getting about a 4x increase in graphics power, which makes sense because it's designed to push 4K. You're going from 8 gigs of RAM on the original one to 12 gigs of RAM on the X, and you're getting a terabyte hard drive standard. Real quick, comparing it to the PS4 Pro, the big difference is the Xbox One X, again, is 12 gigs of RAM. PS4 Pro has 8 gigs still. And that 6 teraflop GPU on the Xbox One X is competing against a 4.2 teraflop PS4 Pro GPU. So real quick, this is marketed as a quote-unquote uncompromised 4K experience where certain games... So there's like a boost mode where kind of all games are going to have some kind of enhancement, but it's negligible. And then there's going to be like games that have been patched to support the Xbox One X that perform significantly better and can either do 4K or checkerboarded 4K or 1080p 60 frames per second with enhanced visuals. So that's kind of what we're looking at here. In reality, at launch, there's a pretty decent list of games, but we're still talking. Not all games are supported by it. I'm looking at the list right now. There's probably around 100 games, which is pretty good, but all they say is Xbox One enhanced. Some of them are 4K, some of them aren't 4K, some of them are HDR, some of them aren't, some of them are in development, some of them are out now. So there's this big list that you have to kind of keep track of if you want to really leverage all of its potential, and you got to own those games. So right off the bat, is it worth it? Is this a good idea, bearing in mind that PCs exist and all that other stuff?
What's the MSRP?
500, which is
for the PS Pro.
PS Pro's 400. Xbox One X is 500, and the original Xbox One launched at 500.
So my problem is that you basically just described a fairly decent PC with a hot gaming card, a hot graphics card. Yep. Like that you could get for around the same price, and you can drive a 4K TV with it because they all have HDMI inputs.
Also, you can also custom tailor those settings. You don't have to wait for developers to patch in enhancement.
Right. And you could play anything in 4K.
Well, you run 4K, Chris. Well, how much did you pay for your rig?
Well, I think I know I'm running better than the Xbox One X can run.
So
but
the Xbox doesn't actually run 4K. It's boosted 4K, so it's not...
it's like an upscale?
Yeah, it's essentially an upscale from 1080p.
So it's going to look worse than a real...
So, yeah, so it depends on the game.
Like 30.
So Forza 7 is kind of their launch game for this platform. That is actually native 4K 60 frames per second. But pretty much anywhere after that, it's a hot mess of dynamic resolution, upscaling, super sampling, kind of giving the illusion. It's not really true 4K. Yeah. But to answer your question, Brian, my graphics card alone, I paid $450 used for. And that's a 1080, which is, and the Xbox One X GPU is pretty much compared to a 1070, which is running about 400 right now. So
right, but if you bought, I mean, the other specs aren't really that impressive. Like 12 gigabytes of RAM is not really that impressive. What does it have for a CPU? Like a 2.34 or something like that?
Yep. Eight core.
That's fairly comparable to what I'm running, right? Which
Yeah,
I
no,
got off of Fleabay for like $100. So for $500, you could have an equivalent PC that you can do a whole lot more shit on.
Yeah. So the other thing, I'm in agreement with you, but the other thing to kind of keep in mind is when you develop games for the Xbox One X, you can really optimize it down to that hardware where you can't exactly do that on PC. I'm not saying that it's 100% of the time going to save the day, but if you want to, if you're a first party developer, you can generally squeeze a little bit more performance out. But yeah, I think this has an audience. I don't think it's going to like reverse the Xbox One's lackluster sales though.
No, definitely not.
No, and I think the consoles are kind of dying almost. Like
Ooh.
I think that
You sound like the
consoles
industry, dude.
I sound like what?
You sound like the rest of the industry.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you look at Nintendo's doing all right because they designed the product for a very specific market. You know, the Xbox and the PS it's more mass appeal.
They didn't just build a PC in a box. They gave an actual not just a gimmick, but a gimmick that has actual usability.
Well, a decent.
We'll
call it a decent gimmick.
Well, they failed with that in the past. I think that their last two offerings, the Wii and the Wii U, I think that was their biggest fault. They didn't have really. It was a gimmick for the sake of being a gimmick. Let me put it that way.
Well, so I know we're going to dive into all things Switch in just a little bit, so I'll save the broader discussion for there. But I don't know that consoles are dying per se. Like we're touting, the success of the Switch. Both the Xbox One and the PS4 have sold way more units.
Well, PS4 is on track to be the best-selling console of all time.
Yeah, PS4 broke the previous best-selling console of all time was the PS2, and that was at 20 million units. Or
PS2,
that was
100 and
yeah. I was just looking at some numbers. That was after I think 5 or 6 years. It doesn't matter. Like the PS4 had sold, 20 million units in like 2 years. So
PS4
people are still buying consoles
units
like crazy. I know a ton of everyone I know outside of you guys who plays video games plays it on console.
Consoles are way easier.
Yeah, they're way more accessible. There are all kinds of advantages. Obviously, we all do primarily, I would say, PC gaming, so we have a different point of view. I think that it does. I think the problem is that it's this mid-life cycle refresh. I think I don't think this is going to save the Xbox One because it's not the Xbox One, but it's also not a clean break. Like you said, you have to keep track of, which games are really going to be worth the investment, and it's fairly expensive where you're not really getting, like you're paying comparable to, or a little, you might be getting a slightly better deal than what you would pay for a PC that can play 4K.
For now, but in a year, that will not be the case.
Those prices are going to come down. They're all going to come down.
So the Xbox One X hardware is static.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah.
And even so, my point was that you're right now you might be getting a decent deal on it, and they're almost certainly taking a loss at the MSRP because the Xbox is they just lose money on it. But you have a very limited roster of games that you're actually going to get your dollars worth for. If you build a comparable PC, that's a little less than I paid for my PC. And I suppose I'm not super equipped to play 4K, but you could design a PC and you would have a full roster of 4K games. You could play anything you wanted in 4K. You would have all the other good things, or you could choose not to. You would have all the other good things about playing PC. So. I think if they made a clean break and they had said, no, we're doing a 4K console, you know what, it's not $500, it's $600, but it's a more premium product and it's not this upscaled, bullshit, it's like real 4K, I think that would be a different conversation.
Yeah,
well,
I think
go ahead, Chris.
Oh, I think we're all kind of in agreement that its value proposition is somewhat questionable, but I think the Xbox brand is currently kind of at odds with itself, where there aren't any, like, you need exclusives to drive a platform, and Xbox One X isn't really pushing any exclusives. Cuphead was the last big exclusive, and that is not by any means a AAA game. That was really their biggest exclusive of the year besides Forza 7. And Xbox is now pushing an initiative, which I think is great, but it doesn't help their platform where all of their first-party games are coming to PC. So in that case, I think it's really hard to justify when you could build a PC today, maybe for $350, and then in a few years you could throw a better GPU in that could truly do 4K 100% of the time. I don't know. That's where I'm at.
So,
Well, I was actually going to say the same thing, is that the PC has the upgrade factor, and Microsoft is never going to allow you to upgrade the Xbox with a first-party thing. The other thing that I think is an issue for them is that the market penetration of 4K still isn't really that high.
It's extremely low.
Yeah, so you're asking people to buy a new console so that they can use it on a TV that they don't have.
Yeah, and to be fair, there are 1080 upgrades, but I feel like a lot of, especially, I think a lot of people would appreciate the jump to 4K more than the jump to 1080p as more a casual audience. Like if you're a casual audience and you're not used to playing games and you blast a 4K image in front of them, I think they're going to see that more immediately than if you double the frame rate for people who don't play games as intensely, I guess. I don't know. That's just me, but some people really like frame rate more.
So if I could give a quick poll to everyone here, if you could pick one console to own out of the PS4, the Xbox One X, and the Switch. Curious to hear what everyone would pick, and I'm going to start with...
Can we pick the Pro or the base model?
Sure, you can pick any one of the three
So we can pick the PS4 or the
manufacturers.
PS4 Pro.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
I'll start with Jeremy.
I mean, so when you put it that way, I already have a gaming PC, so I have no real need, certainly for an Xbox. And I'm not crazy about Xbox anyways. I considered getting a PS4 instead of a gaming PC. I strongly considered it.
I talked him out of it.
How come?
He talked me out of it. Because for all the reasons we just discussed in favor of the Xbone. It's accessible. There's no real issues around optimization. PS4 has some very solid exclusives right now.
You buy a box, you put the game in, you sit on
exactly.
your couch, and you play the game.
Exactly. So that was everything in the Pro PS4 camp. I didn't go that way. So I think, given that I already have a PC, I would probably get a Switch. But I'm skeptical that in that scenario, like, could I just take the $300 and spend it on my PC?
No, you gotta choose one.
I guess I would buy the PS4 and then sell it. I don't know. If I have to keep it, I would get the Nintendo, because those are exclusives that I'm not otherwise going to have. But I have no strong desire to have one.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Chris?
Well, I already have a Switch, so I would do that
would
first.
be your answer.
But assuming I already have my Switch, I would get a base PS4. Those are hitting a super awesome premium right now, coming up this Black Friday. You can get one for like $200 with a game or two. And Sony has... the reason the PS4 is selling so well is they have so many good exclusives this generation, and I really would like to play those. And I've never owned a Sony console, so that's like kind of a big deal for me.
I actually am going to quickly revise my answer. I'm going to assume that I don't already have a gaming PC, that I don't have, a platform that I'm selecting among the consoles as like a primary. And in that scenario, I'm getting a PS4.
Brian, how about you?
I would have the Switch, to be honest.
Hey.
I know that, no, dude. Well, okay. So first off, I'm in the Jeremy camp that I would rather spend the $300 on something else. But if I had to get one of them, I would get the Switch, pretty much for the reasons that Jeremy said. Anything that the PS4 or the Xbox can do, they're going to be able to do on a PC. But the Switch, Nintendo is really kind of tight about that. Like, they don't let stuff get out as easily as as the consoles, it seems to me, at least. So yeah, I would have the Switch.
But so, Brian's, assume you don't have a gaming PC. Assume you have no video gaming platform, and you're selecting from one of the three of these. This is going to be your platform. Which one do you get?
Xbox One, because it's got GTA 5, but I wouldn't buy the 4K.
They all have
Dude,
GTA
so does,
5.
yeah, they all have GTA 5.
The Switch has GTA 5.
Okay, sorry, the PS4 also has.
Right, but I don't care about Sony. I think that their stuff is kind of overpriced for what it is. You get something that's very solid, but I think that it's similar to Go ahead.
I will say kind of to what you said a little. The Xbox One S and the Xbox One X have Blu-ray drives, not Blu-ray drives, 4K Blu-ray drives that the none of the PS4 models have, which.
And Sony invented Blu-ray, didn't
they? So
they didn't invent it,
Xbox is paying a licensing fee to actually put those in, which is kind of funny. But those drives, like a 4K Blu-ray player alone, costs $100. So
right. So the extra money is going into the hardware. They're spending an extra $100 on the drive that they're not putting in the PlayStation.
So from that perspective, it is that would be a nice get, because I do have a 4K TV and I would appreciate that personally.
I would also be able to use the Xbox controllers with my existing. Well, actually, no. Scratch that. But I just I don't really feel it for Sony. I not that I feel it for Microsoft, but I think I'd rather have an Xbox than a PS4.
All right. Yeah, I think Jake picked with his wallet already this week.
Yeah, I think I would pick a Switch as well.
All right.
Even if you didn't have a PC, Jake, you'd still go with the Switch?
If I didn't have a PC, I would probably... It would be a toss-up between the Switch and the PS4. And I think... So the PS4 has some fantastic exclusives. Horizon Zero Dawn, which their new DLC just dropped this week, and it looks amazing. The Last of Us. They have tons of good exclusives.
Uncharted 4, dude.
Uncharted 4. And the Switch, I think... kind of targets a different market than the consoles, because like we said, since we already have PCs, there's no real reason for us to get PlayStations or Xboxes. But a Switch kind of fits a different need of being portable, which a PC is the opposite of that.
Well, here's the other thing as well. So again, supposing you don't have a PC, you're selecting one of these as like your console. If you get the Switch, you're getting your Nintendo titles and you're getting portability, which is great, but like you're not going to get a huge array of third-party games. If you get the PS4, you're getting every single third-party AAA title.
Should also
which you
be
would not
mentioned
have on the Switch.
That the Switch is $300 and the base PS4 is slightly cheaper at the moment.
I was assuming cost wasn't an issue. I was just
it's not. It's
someone's
not.
giving me a gift. That's the way I was thinking.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's something to consider. All right, so PS5 and Xbox Two and the Nintendo Switch U, because that's how that's gonna switch down, dude. Like the Wii U, the Switch U. Those are gonna come out. Obviously, those will be the names. PS5, I got my money on. So are
really,
these?
Do you?
Yeah, I do. So are these half cycle iterations going to continue, or was this just a kind of 4K is at a high enough attach rate that we can push these consoles? Is this kind of a one-off, or is this going to continue in the future? And is it a good thing, I guess?
I think it'll continue a bit. Like, I think they'll try and, because it depends on how they're selling, right? You had the PS4 that was selling really well. They wanted to extend the life cycle of the console, and they didn't know necessarily what they were going to offer with the next iteration. So I think, it's both a combination of the tech and also just, want to make more money off of it. Whereas with the Nintendo, they weren't making money, so they fucking moved on. There was no half cycle for the Wii U.
Do you think they're going to do like a PS5 and then that targets 30 frames per second? And then like a PS 5.5 that targets 60? Like how do you think they're going to do that 5.5 bump? I guess is what's the bump going to be? Because this time it was 4K. What's the bump going to be?
Who knows? We couldn't have told you it was going to be 4K in 2012 per se.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll be 60 frames a second. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe
So
it'll be a shitload of RAM. Maybe it'll be a shitload of whatever, some tech bump.
Jeremy thinks it's going to continue,
but not to this extent. I think that there was no real incentive for any of them to quite move on, yet Sony was so dominant and Nintendo was so out of the picture that they were just content to kind of tread their, spin their wheels.
Okay.
Which I expect won't happen again.
Anyone else?
Where are my homies at? Jump in.
I mean, I think it'll continue. I think they must have found a way to make consoles in a profitable margin, or else there's no reason to keep launching consoles like this.
Yeah,
So-
I mean, I think the sales numbers are going to kind of tell the story on this one. That being said, I would love if Nintendo released like not a new Nintendo Switch, but like a Switch dock where you could dock it and it would use like another GPU and it would like push 4K on the dock.
That would be
But-
nice.
Well, it's Nintendo, so I assume that they won't. They'll do something totally different.
Yeah, well, no, just if they also jump on this like half cycle refresh where they beef it up a bit.
Well, they have that with the
That's
2DS
true.
and the 3DS.
They have the new 3DS and that.
And before that, it was the DS. But so like,
Well, they
I
didn't have a
assume
half
that
cycle on the DS.
in some sense, the 3DS is a half cycle on the DS.
No. It's
They're
totally
fundamentally
ridiculous.
pretty similar.
That's like okay, whatever. We're not gonna
Whatever,
get into that.
man.
We'll
You're
put it
right.
in the
No, it is
chamber.
more similar to like PS2 and PS3. But I don't know. They'll do something zany if they're making money with it.
Yeah. All right. Anything, Brian? Are you? You
No,
struggling?
I don't really have any.
All right.
I don't really have any thoughts.
Fair enough. All right. Well, then we're gonna move on. That got a little serious. I think we gotta lighten up.
Lighten up.
I'm sweating right now. Let's talk about Call of Duty. That loosens you up,
Some
right?
spicy
Oh, yeah.
news.
Yeah, some hot spicy news. So, Call of Duty World War II came out. There's this social hub that Destiny by Bungie kind of pioneered, where you hang out in this like area, and there's like small activities that you can do. You can occasionally shoot some enemies. You can look at each other and your cool swag. I don't know. It's a thing that exists. Anyways, there's this new system where you can actually watch people open loot crates, and the game actually rewards you for watching other people open loot crates. So have we hit a new low?
If you're stupid enough to sit on your
Absolutely.
couch and do that, then you know what? Power to you. I think that it's not necessarily like a question of a low. It's like how much will people put up? Well, that is kind of a question of a low then, I guess. But it's like how much will people put up with? And the answer to that is quite a lot, in fact.
Brian, all I want to do is watch you open loot boxes. I
Dude.
want to watch you go on PUBG, and I just want to watch you open all those invitational crates that are worth so much money right now.
They're losing value, dude.
Oh,
They
you gonna
lost
sell?
like
Dude.
20 cents. No, I'm staying in it. I'm in it the long run.
Are you looking
I'm
at the
selling
charts?
at 10.
Are you looking
Yeah,
at the charts?
Charts. They dropped like 20 cents today.
What do you think they're going to peak at? Let's talk stocks real quick.
Realistically, I think like 12 to 13.
I was going to say 12.
I would
said-
like to see 15. I would be
Ooh.
ecstatic
Can
about
you
that,
see
but
15?
that's
Wait, how
pricey.
many do you have on you right now?
2.
So you could get the price of the game if they hit 15 and you sell.
Right. I mean,
Right.
I've already made like $8 off of.
I think
I
I've
think I
made
made $7.50 off of
I've-
one crate.
I've made $43 reselling stuff in
Fuck
total.
off. God damn.
Dude, get
Yeah,
a life.
yeah.
I've made like $6.
Dude,
Well,
I've made more money than you.
Eh,
I'm
It's
sick.
about the journey, you know.
I think I wasn't playing. Like I never had any of the Gamescom crates.
That's your issue,
Yeah,
dude.
that's the-
'Cause
Yeah,
I
dude,
was
the
selling
Gamescom
those.
crates. Those are the
I got
cash
like
cows.
$20 off the Gamescom crates
God
before, and that was
They're
when they
like-
were like $2.
They're like quasi-legal tender. People are trading. Nobody opens them, dude. You just trade them.
You just trade them
I'm
around.
holding them.
It's literally
I'm
yeah.
holding them.
Brian's a holder. All right. So
what were we
yeah,
talking about?
Call of Duty loot boxes.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
so
so
what is
there-
what's the incentive here? Why
There
would
was
they?
I think the incentive is to watch people get excited. So there is a
No,
big
what's the incentive on the part of the developer? Like, why do they want people
Yeah.
watching other
so
people?
so there's actually
They want to
there's-
watch the people get excited. That's,
there's a big thing like there people who are popular YouTubers who open like Overwatch crates actually get a shitload of views for doing that. People love watching crate openings, as it turns out, and that there incentivizes them to buy crates. I think this is like you watch people open crates, get some cool loot, and I'm sure that they tweak the loot based on the number of people watching the crate open. I'm sure that if there's like 15 people watching you open that crate, they're gonna throw a little something special in there. So you see that and you're like, oh, you got that cool thing.
So also this hub area that is coming along with the new World War II Call of Duty game is interesting because, as you said, kind of like I would say Destiny kind of made the hub world pretty popular. Warframe just came out with one in their update to compete with Destiny, and I think those pretty much serve a purpose because it's essentially you run a mission, you grind out some gear, and then you come back and run another mission. So you kind of need somewhere to stay in between your instance missions. But with Call of Duty, which is just like you queue up, play a deathmatch, queue up and play a deathmatch, it seems weird that they did this.
Yeah, it would be like if there was a social component to... Go ahead,
Now hit me up with your thoughts and I'll explain
so, no,
my
I was
theory.
going to say, it would be like if they had a social component to Plunkbat. Like, if... I agree with you. It's not a game that model works in. Like,
I was going to say that the island that you load in on is...
Right, but you can't... Like, it's not like a social thing. It's just,
dude, you
need to put all these
dance.
people somewhere. I did my mating dance, but
I agree.
like, it's not a social thing, and like, I'm not looking to play Plunkbat and meet new people. Like, I want to kill them virtually, not in real life. But you know, you're not really looking to like meet friends. You're looking to like engage in PvP combat, and COD
PIV
is really
combat?
Yeah, it's really the same thing.
PIV combat.
PIV?
Yeah, PIV combat.
Player?
No. You don't go on Reddit much, do you?
No, dude, I don't Reddit at all.
I also don't know PIV. What is PIV?
Ah, God,
Explain
you guys
your
gotta
dank
go on.
memes, bro.
All right, what if I were to tell you it comes from R-sex?
I would say I'm not subscribed to RSex.
You should be. It's great.
Does the P stand for?
Oh, PIV. I get it. We're
Yeah.
fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Not poop.
So Brian's trying to engage in PIV combat over here.
Dude,
Not really. I mean, I just want to shoot some people with a gun. Like, not. Yeah, this is going a bad place.
So the theory I had behind this hub area is a couple of details behind it. Is when you're in the hub area, you get to wear all your cool gear that you bought. You get to display your guns that you may have earned or may have purchased. You get to do a whole bunch of activities which earn you social points, including watching other people open crates. And these social points, they don't buy you anything, but they are used to improve the rolls on your loot crates. I think this whole hub area is just a money grab by giving people a place to display the loot they bought, and Activision can implement their nice little microtransaction engine that they patented recently and sell the shit out of this.
It should also be noted that Destiny is published by Activision. So this has an Activision trend kind of behind it. And I agree. It's definitely the underlying factor is it's got to be making money in the background.
Right. They wouldn't put the money into developing it if they weren't going to make money off of it. My thought is, what is this going to turn into? You get rewarded for watching someone play a game. Like, if you like a webcam on someone playing a game, you can't see the screen.
No, it's the virtual opening.
But that seems like the logical conclusion of this.
I see.
Well, maybe not logical, but is like how much are people willing to put up with before it's like, okay, you're just trying to get money out of me and, you know, advertise shit to me and get me to spend money on your game. So I don't know. That kind of thing pisses me off. I was actually kind of interested in COD World War II, but because, you know, I'm interested in that historical period, but hearing about this, I'm decidedly not.
Yeah, and I think this should also, since we're on the COD bus right now.
The COD bus.
The COD. Oh, dude, that's okay. So there's a zombies map where you go on the bus, whatever.
Of course there is.
That was a great map.
That was a great map. The zombies mode in COD World War II. is largely fueled by loot boxes.
Let me just administer some knowledge to you right now, okay? There were no zombies involved in any portion of World War II. There
That's
were
what they
no
want
zombies.
you to think, dude.
Okay, sure, but I'm saying there weren't. There were no zombies. So why would you include that in a game that's about World War II?
It's in every game.
It's in all of them now.
So
It's not
why don't they
in
just make a game called Zombies and a game called Call of Duty and keep them separate? I don't know. I'm not a fan of the franchise. It looked good. It looks like the graphics are really good and all that, but I don't know.
Yeah. All right. So I mean, I think we've kind of given this a run. Let's move on to the Switch because Jeremy's very excited to talk about this. He's actually currently debating me on a statistic, but we'll get into that.
I'm gonna need to see your source for this shit.
Dude, they just released their financial report for the quarter. Jake, you talk about this while Jeremy and I fight on the side.
So the original interesting thing that I saw about the Switch was a recent survey about how people use the Switch. And this kind of goes along with does the Switch compete with the Xbox and PlayStation, or is it kind of trying to target at a second console for people that already have one? But the recent survey was about how people use the Switch, and the survey found that currently about 70% of users play in either handheld and docked modes. That means that the vast majority of people are using the Switch as a handheld device rather than what a lot of people kind of thought was going to happen was just sitting in the dock as a regular old console that sits next to your TV.
Yeah, so actually this is a lot of people were wondering if the Switch was that whole gimmick idea where Nintendo has been pushing gimmicks a lot lately on their systems. They were wondering if this portability thing was actually going to be a gimmick.
Excuse me, 80%. I think I said 70. 80%.
Yeah, and it looks like people are actually using it in portable mode, and a lot of people were arguing that it's just it's purely a portable and you're occasionally going to dock it. A lot of people are saying no, it's a home console that you're occasionally going to take with you and you're going to do it a few times and you're going to get over it. This kind of is pushing the fact that no, people are actually kind of using it split. And I'll say when I'm at home I mostly use it docked, but when I travel it's primary. It's coming with me no matter what. And yeah, in that case, I'll use it portable for the extent of my travels.
So tell us, what was your debate?
Well, I looked at the topic list as we were starting the show, as one does. And I saw that we were going to talk about some Switch sales statistics a little bit. Eager as I was to shit on the Switch, I was like, I want to, because Chris has it listed as being like phenomenal sales or something, and I was like, there's no fucking way the sales are quote unquote phenomenal. I knew they were good.
They are, dude.
Yeah, they're very good. But so I was looking up sales statistics because I was getting ready to shit all over the Switch.
Were you crowning right?
I was.
Okay.
So I first looked up the Switch sales numbers, and I found the first thing that came up was a report that was issued by like Statistica or something, which is apparently some, they compile data or some shit. I think maybe on the video game industry, not sure, but it was a credible report from October. So it was like October 14th, so just over a month ago. They were using sales numbers from last June. That had the Switch at 4.5 million worldwide, 2 million in the U.S. So they figured it was at least 5 million by the present day, maybe 6 million or so. And I was like, okay, so how does that compare to other consoles in their first year of sales? Because that's the relevant marker here. Because Chris has told me before, like, it's on track to sell more than the PS4 this year. But the PS4 has also been out for some time, so that doesn't, it's not. It already has an install base. So I looked up on my stats. So here they come. First year sales approximately for the PS4, about 10 million, a little more. For the Xbone first year was about 8 million. For the Wii U first year was 4.5 million. And so I was like, all right, so the Switch has already beaten the Wii U sales numbers, but that's like damning with faint praise. Like, as I've said before, like, I've beaten the Wii U sales numbers. It's not, a big achievement. My mixtape has already sold more copies than the Wii U. And then Chris said, as I was writing these down on the topic list to kind of shit on everybody and Crown and Chortle, I had put down the 4.8-ish figure for the Switch, and Chris changed it to 7.6 million, to which I said, no fucking way. No, Chris is right. A report that just came out has Switch reporting 7.6 million units sold worldwide. Chris says probably from the same report they're expected to sell 14 mil. Is that from the Forbes thing?
Well, so this was this came out from Nintendo about last week. They pushed their sales on the Switch. The 14 million is a combination of business analytics agreeing as well as Nintendo's expectations. I think the thing that we have to think about is so the Switch will be a year old as of March, so it has 4 to 5 months left to go, and it hasn't been through a holiday yet.
That's right.
So I think the combination of the holiday and those extra few months is easily going to push it over 10 million. I think there's no real question on that, which would push it over the PS4.
I don't know about easily, but yeah, that seems fairly likely.
So, and also they've ramped up production to ship 2 million a month. So assuming their stock sells out, they sell 2 million a month for the next 4 months, 5 months. That's potentially shipping another 10 million.
So I should say, when I got the Switch on Monday, I was at Best Buy and they only had 2 Switches in stock. One was like the neon blue and orange one, and the other was like the Mario special edition one. So,
what were you saying, Brian?
When did they start increasing the production?
They just announced that. I don't know when they started, but they announced about a week ago that they had ramped up production.
Oh, so it was okay. Yeah, I was gonna say that if you're trying to ramp up for Christmas and you're just starting it now, that's problematic.
And they had a back stock reserve for the holidays as well, but they had 2 million worldwide for launch, and then the other 5 million and change have been production as of the past 6+ months.
Like what I'm saying is, I would not be surprised at all to see them move like between 1 million and 2 million units just in the Christmas season.
I think that's what Chris was saying too.
Nintendo has always been a popular Christmas gift, and
they just pushed Mario Odyssey. Yeah, I think they're
On the other hand, I think everyone who like really wants a Switch at this point has one. Like, we're starting to get into people who are more like Jake, who are like, yeah, I'm thinking about it, and my friends tell me to get it, and like, I might get it.
But also, like, kids who are 8, 9, and 10 who don't have $250, $300 to spend on it.
Yeah, so that's true.
And that I see is really the market that Nintendo has always kind of aimed at, the younger kids market.
Yeah.
Like
the Japanese market is yet to be satiated. They still have thousands of people waiting in line for a couple hundred raffle tickets.
Yeah, it sounds like they could potentially have supply problems. I wonder how many people are going to get killed on Black Friday.
It's going to be great. I'll be there. We'll report live. So I think the last kind of interesting thing about the Switch is if they do hit this 14 million expected by March, that will put the Switch's first year sales, and this isn't saying much. I don't even know I'm building it up like I am. That'll put the Switch's first year sales past the lifetime Wii U sales, which, Wii U kind of sold like shit.
Wii U was shite, dude.
I guess what I'm, this does kind of mark like
What were the Wii U lifetime sales?
It was 13
About 5.
and change.
Yeah, so again,
13
PS4 had sold
actual
18.
units. They sold 13 of them, exactly.
PS4 had sold 18 million by January of the year after it
Yeah,
came out.
yeah,
It
yeah,
came out
yeah.
in November.
No,
so
yeah,
damning with faint praise again, but true.
Yeah, still
Strong
Kinda-
recovery
kinda
for
neat.
Nintendo, definitely.
strong recovery indeed. All right, we got to move. We got to run. We're still plowing.
Wrong.
Circles coming in.
Circles coming in. Circles coming in,
boys.
dude.
Let's move.
All right, let's move. So we're gonna hit this next one a little quick. Actually, we're gonna hit the next two a little quick, and then we're gonna go slow down a bit. So, Perfect World Entertainment has shut down Runic Games and Modiga Studios. Runic Games developed Torchlight, which was a really popular kind of Diablo-esque game, and Modiga developed Gigantic. So Jake actually found this. Do you have anything to say?
Not much besides it's just sad news to hear, especially with the recent news of the recent shutdown
Insomniac.
of EA, shutting
Yeah.
down their studio, who's working on single-player games.
Always sad to see people lose their jobs.
Yeah, especially those beautiful games like Torchlight and Hob, which was also developed by Runic Games. So sad to see that.
Force them out.
Force them out. All right, the next one is StarCraft 2 is going free to play. Mostly, they've largely expanded their free content on StarCraft 2, and it was pretty forgiving up before that. And there's a new WoW expansion and a WoW vanilla server if you like Activision and you like Blizzard.
Are the first player or the like first person or single player, there we go, campaigns for free now?
I think Wings of Liberty is.
Yeah, that's what Wings of Liberty is. No, shit. Because I know that they were giving away Heart of the Swarm if you had bought Wings of Liberty, like, currently. So I assume Heart of the Swarm isn't free for everybody, given that they're giving it away to only certain people.
I know they're also doing some of the co-op missions.
Yeah.
Those are also, some of them are free now. But
But
yeah,
a lot
I mean,
of it is free anyways.
the multiplayer is largely free at this. Which is,
Dank.
yeah, that's nice. All right, so we'll slow down. I think we have two more topics for the night, actually. GTA 5 is now the best-selling game of all time in the U.S.
Damn right.
They have 85 million copies sold. That's
And
pretty good.
they have really good numbers on GTA Online as well. Pretty much everything I'd read had said that was kind of driving the continued success, because GTA 5 has been out since 2013.
2013, yeah, it came out on the 360.
Have any of you guys played it? Or am I the only one here who's played it?
I was going to say you bought it twice, right?
Oh yeah, I bought it on I bought it when it
360 and the
launched,
PC.
and I bought it on PC. And as I've said before, like, if you like GTA 4, if you thought that was well done, you should play GTA 5, because
If it comes out on the Switch, I'm going to buy it.
Oh yeah, that's going to be right around the corner for Christmas.
Well,
Christmas, yeah, they
LA Noire is the
okay.
the
LA
Rockstar
Noire,
Christmas
LA
game.
Noire is a dramatically different game from GTA 5.
But that's Rockstar's Switch Christmas game.
Right, so it's not coming out on the Switch, dude. Don't hold your
I
breath.
think it
So,
might
Brian-
next year or in 2 years.
Could the
Why?
Switch support all of GTA 5?
Yeah, dude, it came out on the 360.
Yeah, but it is the Switch.
It would be
Can support Skyrim.
it
Yeah, I
would be like at the edge of what the Switch could do, I would imagine, because it's got a lot of
It's a huge game.
there's a lot going on. Yeah,
Zelda Breath of the Wild's a huge game too.
yeah, but GTA 5 is
So they say.
huge. Like,
So,
It-
so Brian, you say if you loved GTA 4, you'll love GTA 5. What if you loved Grand Theft Auto Vice City? Then how would you feel about GTA
You
5?
will
'Cause
also like-
I've only played Grand Theft Auto Vice City.
so GTA 4 was like, I like that because I'm very into like the darkness and like the sort of everything is shit mentality. But
I like doing coke.
I think that
in the
I think that
80s.
you can't do coke that I
Well,
know
then,
of.
I
You
don't
can
even
sniff
know why I play.
gasoline.
There you go.
You can smoke weed. I know that.
That's pretty cool.
But I think they took the good parts about GTA 4 and they took the good parts about the earlier stuff in the series, like the earlier games, San Andreas is fucking ridiculous. It's fun as shit, but it is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I think that GTA 4 really went almost a little bit too realistic.
It was pretty dismal. It wasn't as fun. Like fun as a like jocular. It was
like when you punched a hooker in the face, it just didn't. It felt too real.
It didn't have the same. It didn't have the same, gut factor. But I think that GTA 5 they did a good job of balancing that sort of aspect, which gives it a lot of depth, with the fun to play aspect of the earlier games, which were very fun, but they did not have really that great of a storyline. They weren't that deep. I think that
controls are a little janky on the older guys.
Well, they're old games. The controls are all but
well, no, but they're super tight now.
Yeah, but it's I think that it's worth a pickup if you picked it up on the Steam sale. Congrats. If you didn't, I'm sorry.
It's up every Steam sale, so
yeah.
It'll be
you'll get another chance, and I would recommend it.
I will say real quick, I'm looking at the minimum PC system requirements, and the Switch is vastly superior. It is possible.
Yeah, but that's minimum. It's gonna look like shit.
Well, but it is vastly superior. So it could happen. That's all I'm saying. I'm leaving it at that. It could happen. That's all I'm saying.
It could. It won't, but
possible.
It could.
If LA Noire sells, I bet it will. All right. The last thing is there is a self-driving Mario Kart. A guy developed a neural network, used some machine learning algorithms that can actually beat Mario Kart 50cc. I'd say the robot, and at the same time, I think it's Google that's actually trying to get an AI to play StarCraft, and that's kind of going relatively poorly because StarCraft is a little more sophisticated than Mario Kart. But,
especially the original Mario Kart.
Yeah, but the machines are rapidly.
Oh no, they're coming.
Over. They're coming.
But
yeah.
If you haven't seen that video, this guy's actually done two things like this. He did an earlier neural network that was like a learning evolution type thing. I don't know really anything about machine learning, but I watched the videos and it was like an iterative type thing where it would make mistakes and it would try to learn from them.
And learn, yeah.
And then he developed
almost like a machine that learns.
Well, he developed this one so that it replicates his gameplay style like almost exactly.
And he didn't train it for that long.
No, not really at all. Not really.
How long until the PlayStation 5 plays you?
Dude, that's coming. The PlayStation 5 is going to come with a chip that there's a relatively painless procedure that they inserted into your brainstem, and then when you haven't spent enough money on PS5 downloads or DLCs or whatever,
you get to play a free version of Vital Organ Simulator.
No, dude, you're gonna get itchy. Your heart rate's gonna go up. You're gonna start your vision's gonna start going black. That's coming, dude. You're gonna be jacked into the Matrix. But I just thought it was interesting that some guy essentially made a video game that plays itself, literally. Well, he didn't make the video game, but he made a video game play itself. So when the robots take over and we're all gone, or
they'll be playing Mario
enslaved, they'll be playing Mario Kart and they'll be loving it.
And blame it on this guy.
It's a true classic. It's a true classic. So if you're listening to this in the future and you happen to be a robot, go check out Mario Kart, the original one. It's a gift from the carbon-based species that you've destroyed.
Please like and subscribe.
You'll see where your overlords got their roots.
Right. Well, at this point, we wouldn't be their overlords. We would be their servants. But
they're subservient.
We had a culture too, and we'd like to kind of share it from the past into the future with you. So check out Mario Kart.
Please enjoy.
Yeah.
All right. Brian, do you have anything to say?
Oh, it's that time of the week, right?
It's that time of the week.
You know what, guys? I think, let me just be real with you. Put that fucking like button in the ground. Just put it right in the fucking ground. We want likes, we want comments, we want subscribes. So, if you got any thoughts on the video or about the upcoming robot uprising, which is real and it is coming.
Let us know in the
You can,
comments.
leave them down in the comments, or actually, if you have any multilingual profanities this week, I think I'm feeling kind of global. I'm feeling kind of multicultural. So if you've got any profanities in a different language, you can tell us what they are in English as well, so that we can say them to people and they won't know what they're talking about.
We
Leave
will
those down in the
use them
comments
in
as
the
well.
next episode.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Guaranteed.
This is audience participation right here. But
Audience participation.
first, you got to smash that like button. You got to subscribe.
This is true. All right, Jeremy, Jake, any closing thoughts?
Check us out on Patreon. Your support from Patreon makes
Oh
this
my God.
podcast possible, and I'd like to thank all of our Patreon subscribers
Jesus
for their
Christ.
support. And I'd also like to let all of our Patreon subscribers know that we will be putting up a video very soon about the PIV combat that Brian's been experiencing. So
Yeah, it's
keep an eye
actually-
out for that.
It's on a test server. It's a little bit exclusive, but
Is it an open beta?
Oh
You're gonna
no,
open
dude!
that beta?
It's a closed beta,
It's
dude.
closed, dude.
It's a
It's
closed
as fuck,
beta.
dude. It's closed as fuck.
God
All right. Anything, Jeremy? Or you?
I didn't get to shit on the Switch as much as I want, so I feel kind of empty. But good show.
Oh, there's always
Hit
room in
that
our
bell.
show
Click
for-
that bell.
Click
Get-
that bell.
Oh, yeah,
whenever
that's a
that
good
Get
does.
point. That's a
emails
good
about every
point.
time
Click it,
we're
dude.
putting this fucking show up. You want to know?
It's once a week. To answer your question.
Generally on.
No. Chris, if you tell them, they don't need to click the bell.
Oh yeah, sorry. Click the bell. It could happen at any
Smash
moment.
the bell.
All right, guys. I hope you have a good week, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.